Sexual trafficking is a grave violation of the human rights. It's one of the most widespread forms of modern day slavery, and it involves the illegal trade of people, often women and children. And these victims are usually deceived through false promises for employment, education, or a better life, only to be forced into prostitution or any other forms of sexual abuse. This crime generates billions of dollars each year, making it one of the most profitable illicit industries in the worldwide. The psychological and physical damage suffered by victims is severe and long-lasting, often leaving them with trauma, fear, and loss of identity. Despite the global efforts to combat it, sexual trafficking continues to thrive due to poverty, corruption, and weak law enforcement. Raising awareness, strengthening international cooperations, and supporting victims are crucial steps into eradicating this inhumane practice and ensure that every person can live free from exploitation and abuse.
Nowadays, if strangers go to you and talk to you in the street, you don't respond or you don't trust them because your parents taught you that trusting is not always good. But there are people who don't have the same privilege as we do. There are people who learn on the streets, with their friends, or by themselves, or simply they don't have the opportunity to study and therefore they don't have a stable job. Out of necessity, anyone might accept any kind of job just to give a better life to her family or to her children, like they happened to Paula. Paula was a Colombian mother who lives in Colombia, and she was struggling financially. She wanted a better future for her and her children. So, when the opportunity appears, she trusted. The family was being targeted by Mexican traffickers, who saw her like an easy target. They talked to Paula and convinced her to go to work to Mexico in what they say was a legal job. They even gave money to her to get the passport so it could be looks a little bit more legal. Their lies, fake kindness, and convincing words makes Paula take a decision and accept. However, once in Mexico, everything changed. The truth came out. Paula has been exploited. Her children were left without food, and Paula obviously had no money. That's how only one decision changed Paula's life forever. People aren't always what we seem, and a simple act of desperation and trust destroyed that family's life. Cases like this happens all the time, and sometimes even worse, with harder words, violence, threats, and even the death of family members of victims that don't obey. The world changed, people changed, and the things keep getting worse.
Maybe when we hear the word human trafficking, we imagine something far away, like in movies or other countries. But the truth is, it's happening here in Mexico, and it's closer to us than we think. Human trafficking means using people for money, through force, lies, or manipulation. It's not just about kidnapping. Sometimes it starts with a message on social media, a fake modeling job, or someone offering a better life. Victims can be men, women, or children, but most of them are young girls between 12 to 25 years old. In Mexico, places like Puebla, Tlaxcala, or Ciudad de Mexico are some of the main areas where trafficking happens. Many victims are moved from rural areas to big cities or even sent to other countries. Some are forced into sexual exploitation, others into hard labor, domestic work, or even begging on the streets. What makes this even more dangerous is that traffickers often know how to gain people's trust. They might act friendly, romantic, or offer help. That's why awareness is so important. Sometimes, the people being trafficked don't even realize they're victims until it's too late. Every year, thousands of people disappear in Mexico, and a large number of these cases are connected to trafficking networks. These victims lose their freedom, their safety, and many never return home. So, as a teenager, we need to be alert, not paranoid but smart. Don't share personal information with strangers online. Don't believe offers that sounds too good to be true. And always tell someone you trust if you feel uncomfortable or unsafe. Talking about human trafficking isn't just about knowing what it is, it's about protecting ourselves and others. Awareness can save lives, maybe even someone you know.
Human trafficking is not just a crime, it's a deep wound in humanity. This issue affects 1 million people around the world and transforms dreams into nightmares and freedom into suffering. The story of Paula reminds us that anyone can be a victim when hope is manipulated and trust is betrayed. Human trafficking continues to grow because of poverty, inequality, and lack of awareness. This is why it is essential to educate people, transmit empathy, and support victims in their recovery. Communities, governments, and organizations must join forces to prevent, punish, and protect. These are the 3 pillars to fight against this injustice. Each person has a role to play, from spreading information to rejecting silence and indifference. But together, with compassion and knowledge, we can build a society in which everyone can be treated not as a property, and in which every human can bring the right to live freely and dignity.